Hi, you guys. Okay, Insecure, Season 5, Episode 2, Growth. Okay, it's 1 year later and Issa is thriving in her business venture. My girl is booked and busy, and Block Instagram page has finally reached 10,000 followers. One event that Issa put together was a book signing event for the author of the book, The Vanishing High by Britt Bennett. Another event she's working on is for Nathan. Yes, Nathan is back in the picture. And he's celebrating a year in since his grand opening, and he wants Issa to throw him an event. Him and Issa decided to have a bite to eat and chop it up. And Issa is discussing his options of where he can throw his event. Nathan asks Issa, how does she feel about her presentation tomorrow? And she tells Nathan that she's pretty much confident after months of trying to convince Nadia and the Nothing But Water team. She's pretty confident that everything will be okay. The waiter came and placed a candle on their table, and the ambiance in the restaurant was giving off a sexy feel. Okay, a place for lovers. Issa says they're trying to set a mood up in here. And Nathan said, and it's working. So Issa said, so what do you got going on tomorrow? Yeah, Issa, change that subject real quick. You don't got time to, don't backslide. Because Nathan had me fucked up with that. Oh, my mental illness. Don't get me wrong. Mental illness is a real thing, but a lot of people take this mental illness thing and they put 100 on it, okay? He couldn't call you not one time because of mental illness? No, I'm not trying to hear that. Yeah, we're going to switch this mood up real quick. It's a year in for Molly as well, and my girl is thriving as well. She don't got no man yet, but the vibrator will suffice as of right now. Molly appears to be doing some self-care. She cut her hair, have herself a new sassy haircut, and she seems to be more comfortable at work. Her and Issa friendship is back, like real back. It's no longer fake back. They're meeting up for dinner, movie nights, and regular sleepovers. Just like old times. Molly is now at her mom's house and they're celebrating her nephew's first birthday party. Remember her brother got that girl pregnant? Well, now they're celebrating their son's Isaac's first birthday. And Molly has been on her mom and dad about coming together and putting together a living will. So they tell Molly, okay, we knew that you was going to ask, so we have it ready. They passes Molly a piece of yellow notepad paper of a handwritten in pencil of their final wishes should they pass away, of who gets what. Molly is like, I know you fucking lying. This ain't it. While Molly's explaining to her parents how everything works, Herbert, a guy from Herbert, comes over. Herbert is from the church. He became a deacon at 15. Now he's in the music ministry. He reworks trap songs for the Lord. And Molly's mother said, since Molly loves music and Herbert, he does music, that they should get along. Inside the house, Molly explains to her mother that she's not focused on finding a man right now, that she's focusing on herself. And her mother is like, look, just don't focus too long because it's going to take at least 2 years to find a man. Then we have to save up for a big wedding. That's another 2 years or more. And hopefully by then your father can roll you down the aisle, because you know why, Molly? He'll be old. He'll be too old to walk you down the aisle. I understand her mother's concern for Molly, being happy and having a family. But I understand Molly too. She can't just pick anyone because her mother think time is ticking. And like Issa said, like, really, who's to know when our time is up for anything? Herbert interrupts the conversation by coming in there and showing Molly his work. And he made a song called Jesus Came, Jesus Came, Jesus Came. Jesus King, Jesus King, Jesus King. Hilarious, okay? Okay, it's presentation day for Issa, and she's at MBW trying to solidify this sponsorship for her client, Crenshaw. Issa shows them a presentation of the highlights for Crenshaw's show. Oya is there wearing some of the fashions, and Issa also lets them know that Crenshaw hires ex-convicts to give them opportunities and work experiences. After the presentation, Nothing But Water, the representative, they come up to Issa and they're like, wow, you blew us away. They love everything about Crenshaw. However, they said for Crenshaw level of work experiences, what he's asking for is a bit much. Everything from the drummers to the niggas on the low rider bikes. They tell Issa that they have other artists that she may be interested in working with. And Issa said they're cool and all, but none of them are from the community like Crenshaw is. They tell Issa, well, look, child, you have a great amount of options right here, and you should think about that. The thing is, how they gonna say, wow, that was awesome, you blew us away, and then gonna come back on the end and say, well, I think it's a bit too much. Like, what do they know anyway? Issa heads on over to Molly's for dinner, and as she's walking in Molly's home, she's on the phone with Nathan. So when she gets off, Molly says, oh, you and Nathan are friends? He tells Issa, I could never be friends with someone whose peen I seen. I feel Molly on this one. I cannot be friends with my exes or anybody that I was in a sexual encounter with. Nah, we can't be friends. Molly asks Issa how was her presentation, and Issa tells her that Seth from Nothing But Water said that Crenshaw needs more experience. Molly said, why do they say that? Why do they say, how could you get the experience if no one gives you the opportunity? I mean, yes, that's what I want to know. When you go through school, you get your education, you get your degrees or certifications, and they promise you all this wonderful things in the workforce, and then you go for those opportunities smiling with your degree or your certificate, and they're like, no, you need at least 2 years experience. Where does one start? Issa tells Molly that she's worried about Nothing But Water wanting to replace Crenshaw, that it's going to the event is going to wind up becoming white friendly. And like I said, what do they know anyway? Molly tells Issa, you know what? Every boss has a boss. Why won't you just hit up Nadia? Issa say, you know what, girl? You right. I'm going to do that. And Molly's mother is just texting her pictures of Herbert. So Issa's like, he can't look that old. Let me see him, Molly. Molly shows Issa the picture, and Molly said, well, his daddy is cute. Let me see him. Molly shows her the picture. Issa said, Molly, his father is nice looking. Let me see him, Molly. Let me see him. The next day, Molly decides to reactivate her old dating page. And she's going through her profile and she wants to edit it. So it says, what are you looking for? And the old Molly said, looking for serious partners, must be successful, fit, 1 degree, 2 preferred, with no kids. If you're not that, please swipe left. Molly said, girl, you was doing too much. And that's growth. Okay. Molly erases the stuff out of her old profile. And okay, now she asks herself again, what are you looking for? Molly is now reflecting on the past and all the things that she said that she wanted, but when it came to her, she really didn't. Like, one guy, she said she want a guy that has a college degree. So she met a guy that was in the league, and she said, well, she don't want those type of dudes. They only look good on paper. Then she said she might as well not date outside her race because she's going to end up with a black guy anyway. So what is the point? And we know that she ended up with Andrew in her last relationship. Realizing this, it kind of spooked Molly. So she's going on to the next question. Dating me is like, and again, Molly is back in her head and she's reflecting on her past relationships and all the negative things. And this really got her spooked to where she can't even complete her profile. And I think this is a good thing. You know, she's brought to this now. She has to face this, to face the new her, put all that behind her and move forward. And this will be interesting to see where Molly goes with this. I suggest Issa has a lunch date with Nadia. Remember, Nadia was one of the panelists at Stanford. And now Issa is making money moves with them. Issa thought that she was only going to have lunch with Nadia and discuss the Crenshaw project. But Nadia said that she wanted Seth to come along as well because since Issa had some concerns, she might as well just get it all out in the open. Issa tells Nadia that Seth is great and everything, and she understands Seth's concerns, but no one else has the authenticity that Crenshaw has. Seth said he gets it, and the fact that he feels that it's too ambitious and that if it doesn't go well, that it can cost them. And they're a young company and they can't afford to take those type of risks. Issa tells them that, look, I understand that this is a risk. When all of this goes well, MBW gets to say that they discovered Crenshaw. They tell Issa, look, if we decide to go on with this, there will be some notes. And Issa's like, cool, I can deal with that. Issa goes on down to see Crenshaw. Now, Crenshaw got his thing going on. He got his factory set up nice. And we see that he has an ex-convict there. And he is still institutionalized because he's telling that another co-worker is eating on a job. And Crenshaw tells him, like, you're free now. You can eat snacks too on the job. Crenshaw is fine, okay? I love me some Crenshaw. I fell in love with Crenshaw when he was in Doja Cat video Streets. I mean, this man is... Anyway, Issa gives him the green light and he is hyped. Crenshaw said he's about to be flexing on you hoes. He said, you know that art piece that I told you about? Well, I'm going to have to dial that up a bit. I'm about to go crazy. I mean, Crenshaw is like, he's about to run up a check, okay? Issa had to tell him, look, slow your roll. MBW has a couple notes. So Crenshaw is like, notes? What you mean? And Issa said, well, they just want to simplify things a bit. Issa tells him that they wanted to cut the part out about perseverance. And he's like, no, that's the dopest part. And it was the lowriders. And then it was the performance. And he's like, what? Like, maybe this isn't the move if they can't see the vision. He's like, look, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. Issa tells Crenshaw, look, I know how good you are. I see your vision. MBW love your vision. They love your passion. They just want to make sure that it works, and starting over be a waste of the 6 months that we worked on getting here. He tells him that this is all a part of the game, and look, I'm just trying to win with you. And Sean said, yeah, I was hyped the shit about it. He says, fuck it, let's do it. Molly calls her mother to apologize for coming off too strong about pushing them to get this living will done. Molly tells her mother when she feels that feeling that she's doing too much, that she wants to address it. Molly's mother tells her that, you know, you don't have to apologize. It's mainly that she has to push through her fear and face the fact that has to put these arrangements in order. That can be scary. Molly says to her mother, believe me, I understand. And we see Molly bit by bit, she's facing her fears head on. Okay, it's the day of the event and they're setting up, and Molly comes through with a Dasani water bottle. And Issa is like, hold up, girl. It's all about MBW. Molly, why do you have a Dasani water bottle? Who drinks Dasani? It fizz when you open it. Ew. Molly look cute, though. Issa has it set up really nice. Toya tells Issa that she's making sure everything in the back is set up, that Crenshaw has what he needs. And she's talking about how she didn't know that ex-cons look so good. She crazy. Molly was like, hey, Koya. And Koya pulls out her metal detector and check Molly for weapons. Because remember on the season when her and Issa got into that argument at the block party, and Molly went in her pocketbook and somebody yelled gun and confusion broke out. And everybody started running. So since then, Koya thinks that Molly is packing, okay? Issa went over to do an interview that this lady forced her to do. And as she's doing the interview, Koya is trying to get her attention to come on in the back. Bitch, in the back, Crenshaw has the motherfucking drummers. He has the lowriders. He has the performers. He has the works. And Issa's like, Crenshaw, what are you doing? This is all the stuff that I told you not to do. Why would you do this 5 minutes before the show starts? Crenshaw said, because I wasn't feeling it and I knew you would try to talk me out of it. Issa said, yeah, you're right. And you out of pocket. You have a brand to answer to. Crenshaw said, no, you have a brand you have to answer to. Koya cools them down and she said, look, let's start using I. So Issa said, I feel like you're being unprofessional. And Crenshaw told her, I think your support for me is a bunch of talk and you can't support me halfway. Issa tells him, hold up, do you know what I had to do to even get you here? And he tells Issa, like, look, you're not my savior. Issa says, what are you even talking about? And he said, I'm not a sellout. I'm not taking notes from a bunch of people who want me to be like an artist I don't respect. And I feel Crenshaw on this one because isn't this what Block is about? Black life opportunities and cultural connections. Crenshaw tells Issa, you say you like my passion, right? Well, okay, here it is. Here it goes. The show is about to start and everyone is in position. Seth is there front and center. Issa's over here with Molly. And they're talking about how Crenshaw just went off. And the show begins. It begins nice. It don't seem that bad. And Issa's like, maybe this isn't that bad. Then the lights go out and the bullshit begins. The drummers come out and they just said, did all my invisible niggas go to heaven? I said, did all my invisible niggas go to heaven? And they in Seth's face, Seth don't know what to do. He's like, oh my goodness, all the shit I told them not to do, they are doing. I mean, you have the drummers, the lowriders coming out. You have the performers. Crenshaw said, I'm going to show these motherfuckers today. It ended up to be very nice. But I don't know if Seth would like this. Issa is over there panicking. She's telling Molly, like, look, I don't even know why I took my lip sticker down. I don't know why I did that. Because they are going to fire me. The show is over and Issa has been avoiding Seth. And Seth ran down on Issa and he's like, hey, Issa. He's like, nice show. I mean, you didn't listen to any of the notes that I gave you. Issa explains to her, Crenshaw is he's an artist. He's going to do what he wants to do. He's a bit of a loose cannon. And Seth said, cannon? He's like a missile. I was blown away. Put your corny ass down. He explains to Issa that being as though they are a new company, that they get so nervous and they tread lightly, trying to make sure everything goes right. And he tells Issa that he's grateful for people like Crenshaw and her that trust their gut and push them to see that this is where it's at. This is the money scene. This is where the money at. Seth is impressed, and he said he got to get out of there because he had an aggressive massage the other day. No, that was that man that ran up on him. All my invisible niggas go to heaven. Seth got shook and his neck stiffed up. After the show, Molly went on a little date, and it looked like she was pressed for homeboy to come through. And I'm glad that she got a date. I'm glad that she landed a date. Now, Issa, she done hit up Nathan, and Nathan comes over, and they're sitting out on the balcony with some wine, and they're talking about Issa's day and how everything turned out. So Issa was getting tired, and then Nathan goes to call himself an Uber, and Issa's like, how about you stay? And he was like, okay. Nathan and Issa is in bed, and Issa thanks Nathan for coming over and letting her vent to him. And he's like, no problem. He started kissing on Issa. Issa is kissing him back, and she starts to cry. And honey, let me tell you how I laughed. I died laughing. It was so funny. Nathan is so confused right now. Asking Issa, are you okay? Issa's like, look, I'm fine. She's crying and snorting at the same time. And he's like, look, maybe we shouldn't do this. And Issa's like, no. He said, oh, fuck, I'm all crying in your mouth. Nathan says to Issa, it's okay. And Issa tells him, like, look, I'm sorry. I thought I was ready. And she breaks down and she's sobbing. And Nathan is confused as hell. Issa cries in his arms until she falls asleep, and she wakes up, and Nathan is leaving out. But let me tell you how I feel. Nathan may feel like a dumbass right now. He may feel like Issa probably was using him just to get over her ex, Lawrence. And he it's how men can get in their feelings and feel a certain way. But so what? He said, fuck him. This is the same one who said that he had a mental breakdown and he just ghosts. He over there cutting hair, riding up to his home in Texas, but he couldn't call you once. So what? This is Issa mental health moment. And I'd rather for her to do this than to sleep with Nathan, because she's in a vulnerable position right now and with her feelings concerning Lawrence, because that's what this is all about, in my opinion, because everything else is going well for Issa except for her love life. And I don't think she met anyone after Lawrence. We haven't seen her talking to anyone except for Nathan. And that's where the episode ends. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.